Well, let's begin then with an authoritative voice in the Gen AI space with expertise in business trends. Joining in on the show is Nilesh Jasani. He's the CEO at GenInnov Funds and advisory board at Lighthouse Canton. Thank you for taking time out and joining in. Now, given that, Gen AI is really no futuristic fantasy, it is the frontier for research. It's changing really the way and reshaping the way we live, the way we work. Getting a sense as to how you've looked at the progression of Gen AI.
Yes, I think it's very important to understand what exactly happened 1.5 years ago that is causing every major technology company to change their plans, with Apple being the latest one to really kill one of its favorite plans and move completely towards generative AI. Many of these guys are trying to ensure that they don't really face the uh, fate of many of the companies like BlackBerry around the time of iPhone. In 2022, one narrow neural network method effectively became our pathway to the creation or manufacturing of intelligence. The generative AI model or transformer models, whatever you call that, has effectively surprised us at every point in the last few years by what they can do. And we keep getting surprised almost on monthly basis. It's a super mood era where the pace of change is far, far, far more than what we used to have during the internet era. And as a result, I think everyone is still in awe. Everyone is continuously shifting their plans, making new plans to really benefit from this era where we know how to create or manufacture intelligence.
Right, and it seems after what has been an extended honeymoon period for AI and Gen AI applications in India, in the beginning of March, you had MeitY, which actually issued that notice advising intermediaries on the internet that use AI and Gen AI. Do you think it's too little too late?
It is tricky for everyone, right? Everyone is facing the same issue that if they don't do it, the entities they hate the most will do it and they will race ahead. It's that kind of a situation for everyone. I think all of us realize in whichever part of the society we come from that what is going on at the moment comes with tremendous risks. But unfortunately, in the world of competitive nations and competitive countries, it is very difficult to take unitary actions and really opt out of the race where if your rivals are actually racing ahead, they are going to really have powers that you definitely won't be able to tolerate. So it's not just a question of whether it is too little too late. It's a question of can really anyone slow this down, given the kind of environment we are in? And unfortunately, so far, the answer is no. Everyone will keep trying a few things here and there, but the simple reality is that this field is moving way too fast and everyone's rival is in the play.
And what about the dawn of generative AI in the healthcare market? How is that really seeing a transformation?
Yeah, so look, at GenInnov, we are very clear that a revolution is not about its creators, the way internet was not about routers and uh, fiber companies. The revolution is all about its applications. And you raise a very wonderful point out here that so far we are dealing with page one or early use cases like chat boxes and co-pilots, a bit like email and browsers back in 92, 93. And eventually the use case will keep shifting. I think two big use cases that are going to possibly dominate the world in the coming years. One in healthcare and pharmaceuticals, and second in robotics. In robotics, in particular, humanoids are becoming more and more viable. Finally, we can have programming based on observation of how humans work. For the first time, because of LLMs, one can have videos of how we humans do things, show them to various programs, and programs can code humanoids based on that. And that's a phenomenal thing. And as a result, I think the era of robotics is possibly ahead of us. And the second one, as you rightly said, that in healthcare and pharmaceuticals, there is improvement possible because of generative AI in every part of the process, from drug discovery on one side to predictive diagnosis to personalized care, and also in your workflow, consultative workflow. In every field, there are revolutions possible. It will create its own set of winners and losers, and that's what at GenInnov, our fund will try to identify that most of the world will fall in one of the two baskets, one that are going to be disrupting and the other one that are going to be disrupted. And the dividing line will be even sharper compared to what we saw post-internet.
But one can't help but also flag off the fact that a lot of organizations are talking about their privacy concerns with the use of GenAI. It is seeming to be one of the big trouble points, if you will. How do you believe this can be addressed?
It is certainly a concern. I think all the concerns on GenAI and privacy, definitely one of them, are valid. The solutions are also going to be found within that, as we have seen during the internet era of the last 30 years, that at various points or every point, we have had the concerns from privacy, safety, spam, and so on and so forth. And our ability to really fend these things improved all the time, but equally the attacks kept on improving all the time. And it's always a race between the two sides. And I don't think it's going to be any different this time around. Some of the smartest people in the world are working on sort of containing some of these risks, including privacy risks. Are they definitely going to win? Absolutely not. Like I said, it's a race with no end. And we just have to hope that the smart, good people who are working on various solutions, they generally stay ahead.
Given that data localization as well has taken center stage, what would be the outlook in terms of the trend going down the line? Do you think that data, would be inherently safer if it was stored within a country or a region?
Absolutely. I think, look, the big difference between internet era and generative AI era is that things are moving way too rapidly and business modes are shifting. Business modes are no longer first mover advantage, which sort of helped the formation of companies like Meta and Amazon and Google. But the business advantages now are last mile and data that you have that is private to you. In so many ways, the private data, let's say data that a corporate in India has, is the new gold. And protecting that, ensuring that it is localized, is very, very important from security viewpoint, apart from various efficiency viewpoints. So localization is going to be critical. It is going to be even more critical when you are dealing with things like government services and healthcare and education and children's data and so on and so forth. So localization of data is going to be extremely important from those viewpoints, as well as, like I said, that if you are talking about really creating your own models based on your own data, and you are thinking about doing various processing, including retrieval-based augmentation or vectorization or so on and so forth, the more local you have your data, the better. And that's definitely going to be a trend, a continuous trend across the world and definitely in India.
And what are the kind of breakthroughs that you're foreseeing, big disruptions in technology?
I think the main thing in India, where India can definitely lead global south, is if we in our country possibly lead the world in using some of these things, LLMs, as infrastructure in certain critical segments. Just like what happened with UPI, but much, much more out here. LLM as infrastructure could be an amazing theme, which can only be led by someone like India. We could lead the entire not only global south, but many underprivileged classes, cost-conscious societies everywhere in the world. The LLM as infrastructure, UPI equivalent can be built for schools, could be built for hospitals, could be built for payments and so on and so forth. And that's a field which I think is going to really, it's going to be dominated by India. We haven't started yet, I'm just looking forward to the days when shows like yours are going to just keep talking about LLMs as infrastructure and what our country keeps on doing that.
Good to have you on board. Thanks so much for joining in.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.